Country Confidential.
So talk to me a little bit about growing up together and how that kind of transitioned into being a duo.
So we're sisters, 2 years apart. We grew up in Hazen, North Dakota, which I'm sure everyone's been there. Yes. Very small town. But we grew up very normally. We were encouraged from a young age. Our parents are not musical, actually, which is a common question we get asked, but they were always super supportive of us from a young age. They put Kendra in piano lessons. I got a guitar at the age of 10. Our grandma forced Kendra to do a talent show. And that's kind of how, Kendra discovered her love for singing and performing through grandma. So thanks, Grandma.
Thanks, Grandma Judy.
But really, like from a young age, we kind of I started playing for Kendra when she would do these talent shows and then harmonizing with her as well. And I'm like, and I tried a couple on my own, but it wasn't really my thing personally. So we kind of just started playing together in that style. Like Kendra would do a show and I would back her up and sing harmony. And then we started writing songs together as well. And so we had all this music that we're like, what do we do with this? We have no idea. We're small town girls. Our family's super supportive, but we know nothing about the music industry and how to get our music out there. So we started uploading videos to YouTube. And then around I was 14, she was 16. So almost 10 years ago now, we formed the group.
Don't say that.
I know. I'm like, oof, we've been doing this for way too long already. So 14 and 16, we're like, we need officially a band name. And we chose the name Tigirlily. And from then on, we've been singing together, writing songs together, touring the Midwest really heavily. And I won't give you the whole story now, but that's kind of the background.
Like, you're really getting detailed with this, Krista. I love
it. We did so much performing growing up in North Dakota. And that whole state really was supportive of us and let us open for all the big country acts coming through, which was a great experience. We got to do schools there. And it was a great place to kind of, work out all the kinks, basically. I like to say. Some people are like, I saw you 8 years ago. And I'm like, oh dear.
Unfortunately, I've never been to North Dakota, but it is on my bucket list to see all 50 states. So I'll totally have to swing through there. But I know you guys mentioned that your parents really aren't musical, but I always love to know people's musical backgrounds. For me, I love country music, but I grew up listening to like Prince and Kiss and the Allman Brothers. So how I love country music is still totally a mystery to me. But what country music what country music artists inspired you guys growing up? And what kind of music was playing in your house when you guys were little?
Like Krista said, our parents weren't like musicals. So they kind of just like whatever was on the radio would be what we were listening to. And we grew up in a very Christian household. So we listened to a lot of Christian music, which actually now when we write, sometimes we're like, are we singing a hymn right now or writing a hymn? I don't know. But so a lot of Christian music, but then just whatever was on the radio in like the early 2000s. So we listened to a lot of like Rascal Flatts, a lot of Sugarland. Like Sugarland was my go-to, like listening to Jennifer Nettles. I'm like, I loved her voice because it was so alto-y. I'm not quite as twangy because I'm not, so I'm from North Dakota. I don't know where she's from completely, but I'm not a Southern. So, but I loved listening to her alto voice and just learning so much from her in that way. And like the band Perry and, later got more into the Chicks. And honestly, we listened to so much, even like, this is so funny, but like Justin Bieber and Adele and Taylor Swift obviously was our homie. And am I missing anyone? I feel like I covered.
Also like early 2000s pop too.
Oh yeah, loved early 2000s
Kesha,
pop.
Rihanna. But yeah, we didn't have our parents didn't listen to like classic music though. It was what was currently on the radio.
Faith Hill. Our mom loved Faith Hill and Garth Brooks. So Garth Brooks was a huge one too. I'm like, it was like not one specific artist. We had like all these random CDs, the CD collection of like one from every artist.
No, I love that. That sounds like me. I vividly remember just like being handed a Toby Keith CD one day because my papa was like, I think you'll like this. And then I was like, oh, this is not heavy metal. Like I'm really enjoying this. But when you think of a duo, it's always fun figuring out how people got together, how they found each other. Sometimes it's a party, sometimes it's college. You guys were, automatically put together and kind of like what you guys said, that fun little story that you said. But how do you feel like being sisters makes you guys more unique in the sense of being a country duo?
Oh, I love that question because I feel like usually the question is like, y'all are sisters, do you fight? Or like how
Like we would not
it has
be
to
a
be,
duo. if
it
we
has to
didn't
be
get
so
along.
hard being sisters in a duo. I'm like,
No.
no, it's so fun. Like we wouldn't be doing this, if we didn't enjoy it. So I think there's so many like advantages to doing this with your sibling if you love to do it. We say like our filter, like we don't get offended by one another. So if we're like in a writing room, for instance, and maybe Krista says something that I am not super in love with, I can easily tell her like, I don't think that's, quite where we should go with this, or, vice versa. And no one's offended. We don't have that filter. And you get to share all the highs together of this roller coaster of a career, and the lows aren't so bad because you kind of have someone to like, okay, like pick you up and we'll get there, tomorrow or the next day and things like that. So,
and I think obvious, you said what makes being a sister duo specifically unique. We get told so many times there's nothing like blood harmonies too. So literally our vocal cords, yes, we have different voices and sound different, but they're kind of the same to where we blend so well. And I do all the harmony. And I've sang harmony with other people before and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'm like, I've become so used to
she knows like exactly what I'm going to do when I'm going to do it. Even if I switch it up a little bit, she can like fall at this point.
I've even developed a unison Kendra voice as well. Like I'm like if I turn on the Kendra voice. So I'm just so used to singing with her. And we've developed just like how tuned we are with each other over the last 8 years. And at this point, we're both very capable of doing other things in life and music, but we really enjoy being a sister duo because there's not that many of them out there. So it's fun to do something different. And B, we love doing music together. And we have someone for the highs and lows, like Kendra said, and also two is better than one, baby. It takes two.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Oh my God. You said it takes two. I immediately thought of Mary Kate and Ashley. So, cause I think we're all around the same age. So I'm hoping you got that reference.
Yes.
But I know I'm like, don't worry, girls. We're all around the same age. You're not aging that bad. But I absolutely am in love with the name Tigirlily. When I think of it, I think of something fierce, but something beautiful and something that can really bloom where it's planted and really just kind of in tune with their roots. So talk to me about the name Tigirlily. Where did that come from, first of all? Because it's super unique and super fun. It's not like the blah, blah, blah sisters.
Right.
And how does the name Tigirlily represent you guys as a duo?
Well, you kind of you touched on a few of them already. So the Tigirlily flower in specific, the actual flower is the first flower to grow in our parents' flower garden, like naturally in North Dakota. So in our backyard, the Tigirlilies were sprouting up everywhere. So
it does remind us of home.
It reminds us of, home and where we grew up. And the second reason kind of why we chose that at 14 and 16, and we changed the spelling of it to Tigirlily. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think we just spelled it wrong on purpose. And I'm like, no,
there's a reason.
It's Tigirlily. Like we, really
female strength
through what we do. We really think, female strength and empowerment is so important. And we definitely want to be that voice and that, picture of that with what we do. And then Chris, like through what we do, we're definitely different people. And so Krista, like, especially on stage, Krista's more of the fierce, like playing guitar, cool, like tiger kind of like persona, I would say, where I'm a little bit more girly and maybe a little more bubbly and more of the Lily, we like to say. So, I mean, we can flip flop for sure, depends on the scenario, but, so that's the main reason. But yeah, it reminds us of home, and
it stuck with us.
I'm pretty sure Tigirlily actually means female courage.
Which we didn't know right away,
which is actually one of the definitions of that word, which is it's really cool. And I'm glad we chose a name that we still love so much to this day.
I think we considered a name maybe with sisters in it, but our last name is Slaybaugh. And it was a no. I was like, that's not cool.
Doesn't quite have the same effect.
We used to go by, Kendra and Krista as well. And that was like, blah, 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 blah. We don't have like Dan and Shane names. So we're like, we need a new band name.
Yep.
I love it. I actually just saw Jan and Shay last weekend. So that's so fun that you brought them up. Oh my God. Crazy, crazy show. But you know, I know you guys touched on this a little bit, you know, about being unique and being sisters, but just talking about being, you know, a duo in general, what do you think makes a duo unique compared to somebody who's just a solo artist or, you know what I mean, a band?
Yeah, well, we always say kudos to our solo artist friends because we think it would be just this journey would be so hard to do it without anyone. Like we feel so lucky that we get to do this together. But I think the special part about it is like, especially on stage when you're, or even in a writing room or anything like that, like you have two minds and like on stage, we get to like feed off of each other and, you know, perform together. And like, it's just a party.
And like, even in interviews like this, it's not, you don't have to completely rely on yourself. You always have someone you can kind of rely on. And that,
always
like,
have a +1 to the party.
Yeah. Like we moved to Nashville together. We didn't have to make that many friends. Like,
yeah.
No, I love that. So why do you guys feel like you work so well together?
ooh,
I think we're probably going to say the same thing, but I feel like a lot of bands, you know, they eventually break up. You hear all these like so-and-so, they're breaking up after so many years because they couldn't get along. And I feel like it's a lot of times because if you don't know the people in your band that well, egos totally get in the way and what people want in the way.
Or what they think the band should be, or the songs they should cut, or there's so many things to fight over.
But like for us, I know what I'm good at. And I know like I'm a great lead vocalist, and I know in the writing room, like I'm great at melodies and I'm great at conceptual things. And Krista is like, I could never do the harmony she does and how she plays guitar and the way she phrases things. And so we really know what we're best at. And we're not mad about that. Like I'll compliment her all day long on what she does and vice versa.
We just really established our roles from an early age. It's like, we're not stepping over each other. We're not competitive.
It's not like me in front of her or her in front of me. It's like, no, we're just doing this together.
I'm super confident for Kendra too. I'm like, she's the best vocalist ever. Like, you know, hyping her up all the time. And yeah.
No, I think that's so fun. So I know we touched on this again earlier. You know what I mean? You guys are like, oh, we always get asked, what's the hardest part? Well, here's your time to be asked that question. What's the hardest part about being Tigirlily?
Ooh, that's phrased actually a little bit different than I'm used to. Hardest part?
A sister's the hardest part is just, you know, never being able to shut it off, basically, because we also live together still. It's me, my husband, our dog, and Krista lives with us too. So I think
I live in the basement,
you know, and when you're an artist, I don't know if your brain really ever shuts off, but like for music for us, like our brains really never totally shut off. And when we're together, we're always thinking about stuff. So that's probably, I'd say, one of the harder parts about being Tigirlily.
And I would say, yeah, it's not even like as factor of a duo. I think solo artists, it's the same issue. It's like mentally exhausting sometimes because you never feel like you're doing enough.
Yeah, you're like, can I do more?
What more can I do?
And obviously, you know, we get annoyed with each other every once in a while because it would be weird if we never did like that.
We're happy all the time. Like we have no emotions.
And like sometimes we need space, obviously, like anyone would. But honestly, we get along so well. And we have the same goals in mind. But I would say, yeah, just being able to shut it all off and just like relax and enjoy life, you know, and go to a pumpkin patch or who knows, something like that.
Nice.
I look like I'm about to go to a pumpkin patch.
I love it. I was like, you look, I need a haircut, but you look so cute. Like,
well, thank you. Thank you. I try. But you guys have had such a big year, so many big, powerful moments. What has been your proudest moment thus far as Tigirlily?
Ooh. Probably for me, it's been the whole song of Somebody Does this year, which I can get more specific, but that song reached so many people. We posted a little clip of it in early February, and it went completely viral on Instagram and Reels and TikTok. Instagram and Reels, the same thing. But when we released it, it went to #1 on the iTunes charts, all genres. So it was sitting above Driver's License at the time for a period of about 48 hours. And I was like, how? Like how? I didn't, it was crazy because we had never had a song that reached that many people. And we've since released more music, but we always talk about how glad we are that the song that's reached the most people that we've ever reached is Somebody Does, because it has such a powerful and meaningful message. But the most rewarding thing this year has happened is just how people have messaged us and said how much Somebody Does has impacted them. Like people struggling with depression and saying, hey, this song like saved my life. And I don't think it gets any better than that.
Yeah, no,
as far as a musician.
I mean, yeah, we've had probably the best year of our career by far. Like, you know, in our eighth year, this has been the best year of our career, but it really, like, you know, signing a record deal, and we just signed a publishing deal, and, you know, we signed with a booking agency, which all these things are like total dreams come true.
And goals,
and it has been amazing and to work with these teams. But yeah, like Krista said, like just hearing that like our song has saved people's lives this year, things like that, that's definitely, for me, that's been the best part of this whole year.
I'm one of them. I love that song so much. That's how I found you guys. So that song, it's just so good. I'm just waiting for y'all to come to Chicago. That's where I'm based. So
me too.
I know, we
please. Oh my God. I'm such a live music junkie. I'm going to so many shows this weekend. I don't know when I'm going to sleep, but what is next for you guys? You guys have had such a powerhouse year. I have a feeling there's more. So what can you tell us here? And this is going to come out, I think, in November. So if there's anything you guys want to tease, without getting into too much trouble, but what can we expect from you guys here the rest of the year and early into next year?
Well, I mean, we may have something ready for the Christmas season, may or may not, which is going to be really, really fun. Excited about that. And just right now we're writing a bunch, basically kind of getting ready for, you know, the next, whatever comes, whether it's a new single, EP, album. We don't quite know that actually yet. Like we're not just like hinting at something we don't know completely yet, but always working on new music and, you know, hopefully booking a show in Chicago soon. But yeah, just our website, Tigirlily.com, has all of our tour dates listed. And we love playing. So hopefully we're, you know, maybe jump on a tour here somewhere along the line. But yeah.
Country Confidential.